2 or so people joined, haven't joined the live. I'll stop this in a minute. No, my face is not frozen. Hi guys, welcome to my live. My name is Dipuka Molaboge, known on this platform as Barbs, because Barbara is my first name, but I prefer to be called Dipuka because it is a better representation of the girl that I am. Anyway, thank you so much for joining once again as we continue this many days of this experiment on YouTube. So, right here we share information on that'll essentially help you on your walk of faith, walk with God, and just like life. I share my unfiltered experiences in a bid to help you navigate your life. And while I'm also navigating my life, TBH, because I'm not perfect. Right here, we are not perfect. So today the topic is, why are people so mean? Like, today I had an interaction with two different people, and I don't know, I think I've heard somebody say sometimes where you are, how can I say, will contribute to the service, or the service that you get. So today I went to Main Mall, and I do not like Main Mall. I do not like Main Mall because the parking situation is just the worst. I had to circle around Main Mall twice before getting parking, and it was so frustrating for me to think that in other people's countries, that's just normal. Oh my God. So I was really frustrated, and then I got parking, and then I went into the store only to be met with the greatest opposition. So I was looking for a particular newspaper that had an article that I had written, right? Because my boss had told me that, yo, somebody told me that they saw our article in the newspaper. And I had basically very little context in terms of what newspaper, or anything really. I was just like, oh my goodness. I mean, I know the article because I know the pictures I submitted, I know the title, etc. But I had no idea where to even start. So in my head, I thought I was just gonna go into the store, just like look through a bunch of newspapers, find my article, buy the newspaper, and leave. Only to be met with opposition, and like very rude opposition, by the way. This man was like, sorry, I'll pay you. I'm like, please, I just need to look and find an article, and then I'll buy the newspaper. And he was like, no, nyam, I'll pay you. I'm like, okay. And I was just there, like stifled, like completely, um, like hands on my lap. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Because I need to find this article. And then walk around Main Mall like aimlessly, and then I find a bookstore. I'm like, okay, maybe because this is a smaller operation, I can maybe find somebody who can help me, who will be like willing to let me page through a few newspapers for me to find this article. I get in, get to me decided something, I greet, hi, Dumelang, and then I go to the corner where the newspapers are, and there's this gentleman there. I'm like, hi, do you work here? He's like, I do. I'm at work right now. And then I'm like, okay. And then I ask him, I'm like, I really need to check if my articles in one of these newspapers. He's like, okay. And then as I start paging, he's like, sorry, ma'am, you're not allowed to do that. I'm like, but I'm really looking for, I explained to him, right? And he says, well, if I allow you to do it, somebody else is going to come and do it right after you. And in a not so nice way. And then he says to me, well, if you had done your job, you would know exactly which newspaper has your article. And I'm like, oh, you don't understand. I literally, like, what's that thing that broadcasted these articles to a bunch of publications, this article to a bunch of publications. So I have no indication which particular publication published it. And he's like, well, time, it's not my problem. I'm just like, and you know what? With a big lump in my throat, I walked out of that bookstore and I said to him, thank you, sir. Have a nice day. And I walked out. And I really felt like I have to tell him to have a nice day. And like, the other side of me knows that I was being spiteful. Like, I was essentially cursing him. Like, you do not play with me and you are not going to have a nice day type of like cursing. Or um I wish you how can I say? Yeah, yeah, I was basically telling him in not so many words that he will be cursed, him and his entire lineage. By just saying have a nice day. I don't know. I just also I don't think it was necessarily that. I think it was in a bit to be like, I'm a nice person. I don't understand why you have to be so mean to me. And I wanted him to sit with himself and feel really bad about it. But anyway, what I've learned recently is that I saw a post this morning that blew my mind. It was like a local entrepreneur, popular entrepreneur. He was talking about how he doesn't do group projects anymore. He was saying that group projects will bankrupt you, they will frustrate you, they will harden your heart, they will break your heart, because out of the 10 people that you have enlisted or come together with, only 3 people will have good intentions. Imagine the the ratio. Like 10 is nothing. Okay, I don't know math. I was gonna lie. Imagine the ratio. Out of 10 people, only 3 people. 30% essentially. And I was just like, this is so sad that the world we live in is like this. That you could just be walking and having a good day and pick up a piece of paper and not litter, and then somebody can just swear at you or trip you or steal your money. It's just so sad to me. And I just don't understand it. It's just so difficult for me to understand it. I think sometimes I ask myself, do I live in a bubble where I think that everybody has to be nice to me because I'm nice to everybody? You know what I'm saying? I ask myself this question. And the truth of the matter is, the world is a cruel place. and and you just have to grow up and realize that sometimes people have a lot that they're going through. Like these people, for instance, that I met today, are working under not so great conditions, minimum wage, etc., etc., and they have they're on that 13th reason, and I perhaps was that 13th reason today, where they're just like, man, I just need to get through a day of somebody not annoying me because my rent is due and I don't even know. But for me, it's just like, I just don't understand. I just don't understand what people really think that they'd benefit from being like mean or rude. Because for me, it's like attracts like. If you're a rude person, if you're a really mean, rude person, yeah, rude, mean person, are you going to attract somebody who's going to just randomly give you 200 pula on a random Tuesday because I see you've been struggling and I want you to have transport money for the rest of the week? You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it. How do you think that you're going to attract situations or opportunities or people like that if you're a rude person or somebody who's, I just don't get it. Um, I just really don't get it. It's one of the mysteries of this world. But although a mystery, I think it's just one of the things that I've had to reckon with, and I've had to make peace with, that the world really doesn't owe you anything. And I think as Christians, we tend to think that being a good person is is just that full stop. It means that the world is just gonna be roses and sunshine, and everybody's just gonna have a, what's that? You're gonna charm what what am I trying to say? Yeah, you're just gonna have a good time on this earth. I think we tend to think that, yeah, it's gonna be smooth sailing. You're not gonna encourage a rude cashier. You're not gonna get robbed. You're not gonna get your car broken into. I don't know why we tend to think that. Actually, I do know why. Like I said, like, you just, I don't know. It's also a human thing, yeah, where give and take. You sometimes assume that because you give, that's what you're gonna get. Um, and I think that's one of the other things that I've had to work on. Like, sometimes even a thing like tithing, you think that the more that you tithe, the more you're gonna be blessed. And many times I've had to like recondition my mind, like, to be like, stop trying to think that because you tithed this much this month, that you're gonna blessings are gonna rain in your life. You're gonna get this job. You're gonna be blessed with double the amount of money, etc., etc. Because I think that they say somewhere in the Bible that the more you go into something, trying to, with the idea that you're gonna benefit, then that's not how it's gonna work out. Or God knows your heart, and He's just not gonna give it to you because of the fact that you're going into it, trying to get something in return. And the same as when you don't tithe as much, and you're just thinking, God is going to come down and strike me with lightning. I'm going to lose everything. My fridge is going to be empty. My car is going to be on E. Like, I have to stop myself from having a meltdown when I haven't, like, tithed enough in in the month. So I think it's just a really complicated thing. And in closing, I want to read Psalm 101, and this is going to be connected to um, what we were talking about yesterday. Yesterday, we were talking about uh, secular music. And Psalm 101, a psalm of David, reads, I will sing of your love and justice, Lord. I will praise you with songs. I will be careful to live a blameless life when you come to help me. When will you come to help me? I will lead a life of integrity in my own home. I will refuse to look at anything vile and vulgar. I hate all who deal crookedly. I will have nothing to do with them. I will reject I will reject perverse ideas and stay away from every evil. I will not tolerate people who slander their neighbors. I will not endure conceit and pride. I will search for faithful people to be my companions. Only those who are above reproach will be allowed to serve me. I will not allow deceivers to serve in my house, and liars will not stay in my presence. My daily task will be to ferret out the wicked and free the city of the Lord from their grip. So there you have it, folks. Psalm 101 is calling us to not tolerate people who slander their neighbors, um, or people who are wicked, or people who are evil. It's calling us to stay away from evil people and really just mind your own business. If somebody cusses you out for no reason, if somebody, oh my goodness, the other day in traffic, I had to push or pull back my hand because I was about to middle finger some guy, and I felt really proud of myself afterwards. I was like, oh God, okay, thank you for the restraint. Um, I'm not saying I immediately feel better. I think I may have felt better if I would have middle fingered him, but it's okay. It's okay. Actually, I know that an hour later I would have felt worse, but temporarily in that moment I would have felt right, and I would have felt better. But yeah, don't respond to evil with evil or rude with rude. Um, Earlier when that man was being rude to me, and I felt that lump in my throat, I kept thinking, why didn't I yell at both of these people who made me feel so terrible? But I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't stoop down to that level, as they call it, as they say, stooping down to the level of crazy people. Now I'm slandering, but anyway, let me end this vlog, this live now before I start talking too much and start being the slanderer that they talk about in the Bible. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you again tomorrow. Bye.